Alright, I'm about to hit the road to get, for a big day today. Got a couple of little logs to finish off milling, and then I've got a hive removal to do, and test out the new Bee Vac. I really, really hope I've remembered to bring everything. I really do. So, yeah, get to it. Well, it turns out I did forget a few things. Rubber bands to put the cut comb from the hive in to the frames to hold it in place with the new hive. Oh, and my smoker. Yeah, forgot my smoker, which is kind of a pain. But at least I brought my hat. So I'll be able to keep the sun off my head. So that's something. But anyway, time to hit the road. Don't have much to do here, but I've just got to get these two logs dealt with. It's so much greener down here, but even so, it's really warm. And it's going to be even hotter once I pull the cord on that. I'll go sit down and have a drink. And it'll be hotter still once I have to get my bee suit on. Made it back to this, well, not a swarm anymore because it's now a hive as it was the other day, and I'm ready to get started. So first step is I'm going to crack the cavity, crack the roof off this bay window, and then I'm going to get the comb that they've got in there out, and we're going to be putting it in these frames which I've already prepared, with rubber bands to hold the comb in place. Once I've done that, I'll be assembling that hive body into my new Bee Vac. So I've got the little blower sucker Ryobi cordless vacuum there. That's fitted into a pan handle, regular pan handle for a toilet. It didn't get quite a good seal because this isn't circular, it's flat on the bottom, so I've just increased, put some tape on there to get a better seal. That's fitted to a short piece of DWV pipe, and then a flange fitting glued on the inside, which hopefully you've seen on the construction video. If not, follow the link. Then that's the air box. The air will be then sucking through the screen. The first hive body will go onto there, and then the hive body with the frames will be going on after that. Then on top of that, we have a clearer board, which will be on place so that the bees will be going through there, hopefully, but not coming back out. And then, and then the hose box. So this box goes on top. Bees are going to be sucked in this, sucked down this hose into this box. Hopefully, they'll smell the comb, go through the clearer board into the hive bodies. And yeah, that's the plan. So get busy. Yeah, I think they're feisty. I'd go inside if I were you. I've got a smell of bananas here already. Well, here is the first modification. Trying to fit comb from a cutout into the 145mm frames. there's just not enough room in the frames to take the large pieces of free-built comb that I was pulling out of this bay window. So the next time I do this, I'm going to use a full-depth super. So the little Ryobi dustbuster was working, incredibly gentle on the bees, but that was kind of a bit of a problem. I was a bit under the pump on this day. I had to get back to Bendigo before it started getting dark because of other things I had to do, and it was an hour drive to get home. And as gentle as the Ryobi dustbuster was, it was only pulling in, well, it wasn't pulling in, I was having to sort of pick up 5 or 6 bees at a time, or maybe a little clump when they were clumping. They would be stuck on the inside of the hose. They would try to walk out. I'd give it a bit of a shake and then they'd go down. And that was really gentle, but it was taking forever. And there were so many bees. This was a huge swarm and it hadn't got any smaller as a hive. So I borrowed the Karcher wet and dry vac from the person whose house I was at, and sort of stuffed my shirt around the tube and then stuffed it into the panhandle. And I thought I would have to get my drill out and drill some holes in that vent and then use the slide to throttle it back. But it seemed okay, like it was a bit faster, but not a lot faster, pulling the bees in. And yeah, so I just got on with it. But even so, I ran out of time. There was still a lot of bees left. So what I did was I taped off the end of the hose and just had to come back the next day. I went to Woodend the next day to find the hose off the Bee Vac. So I don't know whether the tape failed or they chewed it or what, but I definitely didn't disconnect it because of course that lets all the bees out of the Bee Vac. So yeah, I think we're going to have to start again. I'm also going to shorten the hose and see if that helps at all. Oh, there's the queen! There's the queen! There she is. Oh! Plastic gloves work if you allow you to use your phone. That's neat. So finding the queen was a bit of a stroke of luck. So I got a piece of paper underneath that cup, picked her and a bunch of bees up, opened up the Bee Vac and put her in with the comb. Then I put it all back together, connected off the hose and got to work. But as you can see, it was really slow glowing. It wasn't even with the Karcher, it wasn't pulling in a huge amount of bees or pulling them in really quickly. And I had so much to do this day. I hadn't expected to have to make another trip to Woodend, so I was really under the pump. So in the end, I said, that's it. I'm going to try a narrower hose. So I stopped what I was doing, went down to the local hardware and grabbed and got the 25mm hose that you see here. Unbeknownst to me, the hose was absolutely chockers with bees, and that's why it wasn't sucking. So when I went to a new hose, especially a smaller hose, suddenly the bees would go. This is where I'd put the narrow transparent hose into the black ribbed hose, and I'm trying to shake the bees that I've now discovered are in it, and they're still not coming out. So what I ended up doing was putting the tube up to my veil and then blowing into that tube, and the combined pressures of the Karcher sucking through the narrower tube and me blowing at the other end dislodged bees and got them flowing. At the time I thought, this is not good. This is really rough, and I was worried that, you know, when I finally got home, I was going to have a whole stack of dead bees. But I didn't have a choice. I had to get this job done. I wasn't going to get another chance to get back to have another crack at it, so I just persevered. I felt really guilty at the time because it wasn't good for the bees, but it was either that or the owner was going to, you know, put a fumigation bomb in them. So, you know, lesser of two evils, basically. I'm just about wrapping up here. The bees have sort of got that confused where on my behaviour happening. Lots of sort of circling behaviour, trying to orientate themselves. And the air must be full of their pheromones, so they've got no real guidance from the olfactory senses. Oh, still a few up here. So I might turn the vac on and see if I can get them. And here are the girls settling in. And interestingly, despite the really strong suction, there was hardly any dead bees. Now, and if you think about that, that's really impressive because there was all those bees trapped in the ribbed hose. I had to shake the bejesus out of the hose to get them to move, and the blowing in it, and the how much stronger the Karcher vac was. Still, hardly any dead bees. So that was a real win. I've got to make a proper roof for them. That's a little bit of lining material there, which is, you know, 100% waterproof, and then just some wood to hold it down. So that's on my to-do list, to make them a proper lid. Well, I hope that was useful. I hope that's going to help someone. I watched a whole stack of videos on how to make a Bee Vac, how to use Bee Vac, and even so, there was a whole stack of stuff that I learned in doing this, and it's included in this video that I didn't see anywhere else in anyone else's videos. So I hope that my contribution will help someone else. Now, I'm not sure what I'm doing for the next video. I've got a whole stack of footage on how I rebuilt the Bee Vac, and then the second hive removal that I've done with the Bee Vac. Again, learned a whole stack more stuff, and I'm not sure if I'll do the rebuild and the second hive removal in one video or whether I'll split it up. But I'm also going to do another video on gloves, which I mentioned, because I've had real problems with the gloves that I've been using, from getting masses and masses of stings through the gloves into my hands and that causing a problem, versus getting massive stings on the gloves, killing a lot of bees. But stay tuned for that, and so that you don't miss it, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon, so that you get the notifications. Yeah, and so look, I really hope that helps someone. Love to know your thoughts. Like I said, I'm learning, so if anyone's got anything they can contribute to help me, I'd really appreciate that, and there might be someone else who's watched this that will also get some use out of seeing your contribution in the comments. So yeah, I'll catch you around, and I'll see you in the next video.